Listen. Practice. Speak. Practice makes you perfect.
Have you ever found yourself in a professional setting? Maybe an email pops up or a colleague starts talking and suddenly you hear things like pick your brains or see acronyms like EOD.
Oh, yeah.
And there's that split second where you think, wait, what does that actually mean? Am I supposed to know this? It can feel a bit like you're trying to crack some kind of secret code. Might make you hesitate or, worry about using it wrong yourself. It's pretty common, actually. Can be confusing.
It really, really is. And it's not just about learning vocabulary, is it? It's more like figuring out the specific dialect of business English.
Dialect. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because every industry, sometimes even just one team, they develop their own little shorthand. And, it's a challenge for everyone, even native English speakers sometimes.
Right.
Because formal business talk just has its own, subtle rules. And getting those nuances down, well, that's about real clarity. It builds trust, helps you get your message across confidently. And that really underpins professional success. It's how you become, truly well-informed and effective.
And that, for you, our listener, is exactly what we're diving into today. This is the deep dive, and we're going deep into those essential business English phrases and acronyms, the ones you really need for workplace communication. Our goal here isn't just definitions. We want to give you the tools, the sort of strategic understanding to use these confidently, to really thrive in English-speaking business settings.
Yeah.
Whether you work in English every day, or maybe you're just curious and want to level up your professional language skills, this deep dive is definitely for you.
So what are we actually covering? Well, we've put together a list of 20 essential business English phrases. These cover everything from, just polite daily stuff to more high-level strategic thinking.
Okay.
And as a little bonus, we're also going to unpack 5 key acronyms, the ones you see and hear popping up all the time, especially in writing.
Good.
The aim is for you to walk away knowing not just what they mean, but really how to use them effectively, how to improve your business English and your professional presence overall.
All right, let's jump right in then. We'll start with those phrases that help us navigate the day-to-day stuff, the sentence, the interactions, sort of the social glue of business English, right?
Exactly, the social lubricants.
And we're kicking things off with something I think everyone can relate to, especially if it's Monday morning for you right now. What's phrase number 1? Or maybe it's a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, it's kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
We're starting with a case of the Mondays, or its slightly more chatty cousin, Mondays, am I right?
Oh, a classic.
It's just this, lighthearted, almost kind of silly way to talk about feeling sluggish or lacking motivation, or even just blaming Monday for some small problem.
Right, like the coffee machine breaking.
Exactly. It's never literal blame. Monday didn't actually break the machine. It's just a quick nod to that shared feeling, without getting negative.
I know that feeling. You wake up, you just don't quite have that Monday morning spark. Yeah. You might say to someone, maybe with a little sigh, I just don't have any motivation today. Guess I have a case of the Mondays. Or, yeah, the printer jams again. You might just look at your colleague and go, ugh, this printer, Mondays. Am I right?
Exactly.
It's a quick way to connect, find a bit of common ground over something small, and, let's be honest, kind of funny.
And what's really interesting here is how this seemingly small phrase actually works as a powerful social cue.
How so?
Well, it instantly builds a bit of camaraderie, acknowledges that shared experience. It adds humor, maybe diffuses a little tension, or just says, I get it, without needing a big explanation.
Yeah.
So, for you, listener, if you're trying to improve your business English, just watching how and when people use this in an office, that's key. It's cultural. It's that collective sigh when the weekend's over.
Right.
Using it shows you're kind of, part of the team vibe, not just focused on tasks. It's that little human touch that makes you more approachable.
Makes sense. It's more than just the words. Okay, moving on. Politeness and collaboration. Super important. Phrase number 2 is incredibly useful. Almost essential, really. When you have a minute, or maybe, do you have a minute?
Yes, this is an extremely polite way, a very considerate way to ask for someone's time or maybe their help with something, especially when you know or you just assume they might be busy or focused on something else. It automatically shows respect for their work, their schedule.
Instead of just barging in.
Exactly. Instead of being abrupt or demanding, you're giving them the courtesy, the choice to respond when they actually can give it their attention. It respects their control over their own time.
So rather than just walking up or pinging someone, look at this now, you'd say maybe, hey, when you have a minute, could you glance at this report for me?
Perfect.
Or maybe a bit more immediate, but still polite. Do you have a minute to look at this report? It just smooths things over, doesn't it? Shows you see they're busy.
It absolutely does. That phrasing subtly says, I see you're working. I respect your time. It emphasizes that respect, which, builds better working relationships based on consideration, not just demands.
Right.
For anyone working on their business English, mastering these polite phrases is huge. It's not just grammar. It's like showing emotional intelligence in how you communicate, anticipating friction and smoothing it over. That makes you a better collaborator.
Yeah.
Hugely valuable.
Okay, phrase number 3 paints a really vivid picture. It's kind of playful. To bounce some ideas off of you, sometimes just off you. What does bouncing ideas really mean here? Sounds a bit like you're throwing a ball at someone.
It does, doesn't it? And that highlights how informal but effective it is. It's pretty much what it sounds like. You're sharing an idea, maybe one that's not fully formed yet, just to get someone's quick, informal reaction.
Okay. So not a formal pitch.
Not at all. The key thing is there's zero expectation of getting solid, finished answers back. The goal is more like collaborative refining. You toss the idea out, see how it lands, get that gut reaction, and that feedback helps you make it better together. Or maybe realize it needs rethinking, like a mini brainstorm, just 2 people.
So you're not asking for the final answer, just testing the waters.
Yeah.
Like, hey, want to grab coffee? I'd like to bounce some ideas off you for this new assignment. Just see what you think.
Exactly.
Or maybe I've been mulling over this project strategy and I'd love to bounce a few ideas off you. You got a couple of minutes. It shows you value their first impressions.
And it connects directly to that whole process of, creative problem solving, innovation. This phrase is great for encouraging open, low-pressure discussion.
Yeah.
It gets you that quick, informal feedback that can shape an idea before you invest too much time in it. What's fascinating is how it promotes that iterative thinking, allows for quick adjustments. For anyone looking to improve their business English, using this phrase shows you're open to collaboration, willing to ask for input. Those are really valued traits. Plus, it shows you can start a dynamic conversation, not just a transactional one.
Okay, and speaking of getting input, phrase number 5. This one always sounds a little strange to me. To pick your brains. A bit Frankensteinish, right?
Yeah, the imagery is a bit odd.
But here's where it gets really interesting because it's so common and useful. But is there like an etiquette to it? Can you just randomly ask to pick someone's brain? Or should it be more planned?
That's a really good question. There's definitely an unspoken etiquette. While it sounds literal to pick your brains, just means asking for input or advice or insights from someone who knows more about something than you do.
Good.
Someone with more experience or specific knowledge. It's actually a respectful way to acknowledge their expertise. You're seeking wisdom, not making demands. And no, you definitely can't just demand someone's time or knowledge without being considerate.
Right. So you might say, I know you've been here 5 years and really get the company culture, so I'd love to pick your brains about what it's really like to work here.
Perfect example.
Or maybe, with your background in market analysis, could we maybe hop on a call so I can pick your brains about the strategy for next quarter? It's about learning, but respectfully.
Exactly. And a good brain-picking session. That's one where you come prepared. With specific questions. Respect their time, be focused. Ideally, you're also thinking about how you might return the favor later, or at least follow up to show how their advice helped.
So it's more like building a connection.
Yes. Less about just extracting information, more about building a relationship, maybe even mentorship. Using this phrase well for improving your business English signals professionalism, humility, and that you're proactive about learning. Shows you know how to access knowledge, which is a great soft skill.
Let's shift to efficient information exchange. Speed, clarity, super important today. Phrase number 4, which we skipped over, is first thing in the morning. I notice people sometimes add the first thing in the morning, but it's more direct, right?
Yeah.
And what does morning mean with time zones everywhere?
Great points. Yes, it is a fixed phrase, no the. It means Doing something right away at the very start of the workday. It's understood as an immediate block of time, sets a clear expectation for prompt action. But you're right, the time zone thing is a real issue in global teams.
So you could say, like, first thing in the morning, I make coffee, a routine.
Mm.
Or work-wise, if I don't hear from the client today, I'll call them first thing in the morning. It's a commitment for the start of the next day, or maybe finishing up late. Sorry, can't finish the report now, but I'll do it first thing in the morning.
Super useful locally, but globally, yeah, first thing can cause confusion. Best practice often is to add the time zone. First thing ET or first thing GMT.
Oh, that makes sense.
Otherwise, your first thing might be their middle of the night, leads to problems. So, for improving business English in an international setting, being explicit about time zones shows real communicative competence. It's practical application, not just knowing the phrase.
Keeping with efficiency, phrase 6 is huge now with remote work. To hop on a call sounds casual, like hopping on a bus, but it's totally professional.
It does, and that casual feel is part of its usefulness. To hop on a call means starting a conversation, often pretty spontaneously, using the phone or Zoom, Teams, whatever.
Okay.
It suggests a quick, direct chat about something that's maybe easier or faster to sort out by talking in real time rather than endless emails back and forth. Implies immediacy.
Right. So if a client has urgent questions, you might ask a colleague, hey, got a minute to hop on a call? Client just sends some urgent questions.
Perfect.
Or if an email thread is getting way too complicated, you might say, I was going to email again, but maybe it's just easier if we talk. Can we hop on a call real quick? Consider back and forth.
It's a strong signal that you prefer real-time discussion over asynchronous stuff like email, especially for urgent things or complex issues where tone matters.
Yeah, nuance gets lost in text sometimes.
Exactly. It shows you want immediate resolution or clarity, makes communication more dynamic, often way more effective. Using to hop on a call, well, for improving your business English, shows you're flexible, you understand dynamic communication needs, shows you're ready for direct engagement.
And speaking of quick and direct, phrase 7, another 2-for-1, to shoot off an email or to fire off an email. Both shoot and fire sound fast, right?
Intentional.
They really do. Both mean sending an email or maybe even a text quickly. The emphasis is on speed, efficiency, maybe conciseness.
So not a long, detailed message.
Probably not. It implies you're sending the essential info rapidly without lots of extra stuff, just dispatching the message.
Got it. So I'm going to fire off an email with these key questions before our client meeting.
Or waiting for info. Just shoot me an email with those numbers and I'll tackle it first thing in the morning. See? They combine.
Exactly. You're combining them perfectly. That shows how these phrases link together for efficient, natural business communication. Understanding the urgency in shoot off or fire off for improving your business English helps you prioritize and communicate expectations clearly. Direct, but still professional. Streamlines things.
Okay, last one in this section, number 8. Great visual. To keep someone in the loop. A loop makes you think of connection, inclusion, information flow.
Precisely. To keep someone in the loop means actively making sure that person is included, that they get all the necessary updates about a project, a discussion, whatever's going on.
So they're not left out.
Right, making sure they're fully informed, not operating with old info.
So if you missed a meeting, you might ask someone, hey, missed the planning meeting yesterday. Could you keep me in the loop on the decision? Send me the notes and stuff.
Perfect use.
Or maybe a boss needs updates on a big project. The VP wants you to keep her in the loop on all client comms for this initiative.
It's so important for team collaboration, for transparency, for effective information flow, avoids miscommunication, makes sure everyone's on the same page. And honestly, it prevents people from feeling isolated or undervalued.
Yeah, that's huge for morale.
Absolutely. So actively using phrases like keep me in the loop, if you're working on your business English, shows you understand team dynamics, you're committed to collaboration, and you know how to manage information sharing. It's about building that cohesive, informed team. Fundamental stuff.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit, moving from those daily interaction phrases to the world of strategic thinking and project management, where innovation and execution are really the name of the game. Phrase number 9 is a big one for creative work. To brainstorm. You can almost picture it, right? A meeting room, ideas flying.
Totally. To brainstorm is all about generating lots of new ideas, usually in a group. The main goal is to get all the ideas out there.
No bad ideas at first.
Exactly. You suspend judgment initially, doesn't matter how wild it sounds. You want a free flow of thoughts, quantity over immediate quality, because somewhere in that mass of ideas, you'll find something that works or sparks something even better.
Makes sense. Get it all out first, then filter. So
Okay.
a team lead might say, okay, team, tomorrow's meeting, we're going to brainstorm new marketing ideas for Q3. Come with everything. Or our group got together specifically to brainstorm better ways to help customers with the new website.
And good brainstorming, effective brainstorming, it's more than just listing ideas. It's about the environment.
How do you mean?
Is it safe for people to share truly out there ideas? Are people building on each other's thoughts or just waiting for their turn to talk? Modern brainstorming might use specific techniques too, like reverse brainstorming, focusing on problems first.
Interesting.
Structured methods like Scamper. It pushes for diverse thinking, moves beyond just raw ideas into structured innovation. Participating well in brainstorming for improving your business English shows you're collaborative, innovative, a key strategic skill.
Now, after something happens or a project finishes, phrase 10 is key for learning. To debrief. Sounds a bit formal, maybe military, like reporting back.
That's a good analogy. The idea is similar. To debrief means systematically summarizing, giving a detailed account after an event or project, usually in a structured meeting,
What's the goal?
to discuss what happened, what went well, what didn't, and crucially, how to improve next time. It works as a verb, let's debrief, or a noun, we need a debrief.
Got it. So after a big product launch, you might say, okay, now that it's launched, let's schedule a meeting to debrief next week.
Yep.
Or if it already happened, we had a thorough debrief, and based on that, we're making some changes for the next project cycle. It's really about learning from what you just did.
Absolutely. And connecting this to the bigger picture, debriefing isn't just important, it's essential for real organizational growth.
Why essential?
Because its real power is in creating psychological safety. Too often, teams rush it, or worse, it becomes about blaming people.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But a good debrief focuses on systems, not just individuals. It encourages people to be open, reframes failures as learning moments for everyone. It builds that continuous improvement loop. Participating effectively in a debrief for improving business English shows leadership potential, commitment to growth. It's sophisticated project management understanding.
Okay. Now, for a couple of phrases that describe work ethic, often in contrast. Phrase 11, nobody wants to be called this, a slacker. It's unfortunately a thing sometimes.
No, definitely not a label you want. A slacker is someone who's, well, lazy, doesn't do their fair share, avoids responsibility.
And expects others to pick up the, well, slack.
Often, yeah. Implicitly or explicitly, they expect others to cover for them, which is incredibly frustrating, bad for morale, and obviously bad for getting the work done well.
You hear people complaining, maybe quietly, he's such a slacker, always late, and the rest of us have to scramble. Or thinking back to group projects, it seems like every group has one slacker who expects everyone else to do the heavy lifting. It really drags the team down.
It really does. The phrase highlights that frustration, the negative impact on morale. Creates resentment when the workload isn't fair. It's the exact opposite of the reliability and commitment everyone values. Understanding the weight of this term, even if you don't use it, helps you recognize unhealthy team dynamics when improving your business English.
So if slacker is the negative pole, phrase 12 is the positive opposite, a workhorse. Now that's high praise.
Huge praise. A workhorse is someone super diligent, reliable, works incredibly hard, often has great endurance. They just consistently get stuff done, often going the extra mile without needing to be pushed. They're the engine of the team.
Right. You hear things like, she is a real workhorse. In the office, at home, doesn't matter, she always delivers quality work on time.
Exactly.
Or maybe during promotion discussions, he really deserves this. Absolute workhorse for years. Always takes on extra tasks, beats his targets. It's like the ultimate compliment for dedication.
It really emphasizes the value of that dedication, reliability, high performance. Being called a workhorse means you add value, you drive results, you can be counted on. It often leads directly to recognition, promotions, raises.
Makes sense.
Aspiring to be seen as a workhorse for improving business English and your career means embodying those valued traits. Diligence, commitment, consistent productivity. It's the ideal professional standard, really.
Okay, when things get really urgent, maybe a crisis or a massive deadline looms, Phrase 13 comes out. All hands on deck.
Yeah.
Comes from sailing rig. Everyone needed immediately.
Spot on, nautical origin, desperate times on a ship needed every sailor all hands on deck for something critical. In business, it means everyone on the team, maybe the whole department or company, needs to jump in on an urgent, all-consuming project or situation.
So serious.
Very. It can also refer to an all-hands meeting, which means everyone has to attend, usually for a major announcement.
So facing a tight deadline, a manager might say, okay, people, we need all hands on deck if we're going to get this client proposal finished on time.
Yep. A call to action.
And that all-hands meeting sounds pretty important, too. CEO just called an all-hands meeting for Thursday morning. Mandatory attendance.
It signals a critical situation needing collective effort. Urgency, teamwork, shared responsibility, understanding all hands on deck when improving business English helps you recognize top priorities and signals when maximum effort is required. It's a rally cry.
And speaking of management styles, phrase 14 often gets a sigh, maybe an eye roll. To micromanage.
Oh.
Universally disliked, I think.
Oh, absolutely dreaded. To micromanage is when a manager tries to control every tiny detail of their employees' work.
Checking constantly. Telling you how to do everything.
Exactly. Interfering with tasks that should be autonomous. It almost always leads to frustration, resentment, kills trust, and stifles any creativity or initiative.
Totally. You hear people venting, my boss tries to micromanage everything down to how I word my emails. Or the employees pleading, nobody likes being micromanaged. Can't you just trust me to do the job? It just crushes morale.
And this raises big questions about leadership, about psychological safety. It highlights the huge negative impact on autonomy, morale, and often productivity itself.
Because people disengage.
Right. When people feel trusted, empowered, they're usually more engaged, more innovative. Micromanagement does the opposite, can lead to high turnover, loss of good people. Understanding this phrase for improving business English helps you identify this difficult style and also talk about fostering a more empowering work environment. What actually helps teams perform well?
Okay, let's shift again, this time to phrases focused on business strategy and efficiency, the language of growth, alignment, and staying focused. First up, phrase 15, to align. Remember that silent G, it's not just about lining things up physically, right?
Yeah.
What's the strategic meaning?
Right, silent G. Strategically to align means being in agreement, in harmony, or supporting something. Could be aligning with company goals, values, strategies, or even aligning with other organizations. It basically means there's a good fit.
So objectives match up.
Yes, efforts are coordinated, there's a clear, unified direction.
Okay, so a project might get turned down because this proposal doesn't really align with our core strategic goals this year.
Exactly.
Or maybe about partnerships. Our company aligns itself with organizations that share similar ethical standards. It's about everything pointing the same way.
It's absolutely critical for strategic decisions, for allocating resources effectively. When you talk about alignment, you're making sure actions, projects, partnerships, even individual work all serve the company's main objectives.
Avoids wasted effort.
Precisely, everything moves forward together. Using to align in your business English shows you think strategically, you see the bigger picture, how all the pieces fit the mission.
Following closely is phrase 16, to streamline. Makes me think of making something smooth, efficient, like a fast train or flowing water.
That's a great visual. To streamline means making a process, a system, an operation, maybe even the whole company structure much more effective and efficient. By finding and cutting out unnecessary steps, getting rid of redundancies, reducing scattered effort, optimizing workflow. The goal is always to lower costs, boost productivity, increase efficiency, making it smooth, logical, productive.
Right. So someone focused on improvement might say, if we really take time to streamline this customer onboarding process, we'll lower costs, beat customers happier.
Perfect example.
Or maybe a bigger move. The company decided to streamline its structure by cutting layers of management, aiming to be more agile. It's about making things leaner, faster.
It emphasizes optimizing operations, boosting productivity, hitting goals by removing waste. A streamlined process means less wasted time, fewer wasted resources, often better quality, leads to better profits, competitive edge. Using to streamline for improving business English shows you understand operational excellence, continuous improvement, key for driving efficiency.
For businesses aiming to grow, especially startups, phrase 17, scalable, is huge. Almost a buzzword, but it means something very specific.
It's definitely more than a buzzword. It's fundamental for growth. Scalable describes the ability of a business or a system or product to expand efficiently. to grow profits without costs or effort increasing at the same rate.
So growth isn't strictly linear.
Exactly. It signifies potential for exponential growth. Think about teaching English. A physical classroom. Limited seats, one teacher. Not very scalable.
Right.
But teaching English on YouTube, you could reach millions without the cost of buildings or teachers increasing proportionally. That's highly scalable.
Ah, that example nails it. So you could say, this software startup is small now, but the tech is highly scalable, huge growth potential. Or she convinced investors her idea was scalable, which led to big profits much faster than expected. It's about building something that can grow without proportionally growing pains. Enables that hockey stick curve.
It's a critical concept today, especially in tech and VC worlds. Expanding reach without linearly increasing resources, people, infrastructure, costs, that's the magic. Scalability is often key to rapid, efficient, sustainable growth. Understanding scalable, for improving business English, shows you grasp modern business dynamics, signals a forward-thinking view.
Now let's talk about staying focused. Big challenge in meetings sometimes. Phrase 18, or lost in the weeds, makes me picture being stuck in tall grass. Can't see where you're going.
Perfect image. Being in the weeds means getting too focused on tiny, unimportant details. Losing sight of the big picture, the main goal.
Getting sidetracked by minutia.
Exactly. Very common pitfall in discussions. Wastes time, doesn't move the main objective forward.
So a meeting leader might gently say, okay, folks, let's try not to get lost in the weeds on this minor point. Let's keep our eyes on the main goal here.
Yeah, a polite redirection.
Or if the tech details get too specific. All right, everyone, let's pull back from the weeds for a moment. We can hash out those implementation details later. Let's refocus on the overall strategy.
It's a really useful tool for facilitators, for managers, guides discussions back to what matters, keeps things productive, ensures time and energy are spent well. Using or understanding in the weeds for improving business English helps you contribute to more focused, efficient conversations, shows you value strategic time management.
Closely related is phrase 19, to circle back. The visual of a circle makes sense returning to an earlier point.
Yes, to circle back means returning to a topic, idea, or question mentioned earlier, or maybe reconsidering it later.
When would you use it?
Often when a discussion goes off on a tangent, but the point raised was actually important and needs addressing later. It's a polite way to temporarily pause that thread without losing it.
Okay, so in a meeting, you might say, that's a really interesting point. Definitely want to discuss it, but can we circle back to that after we finish this agenda item? Perfect. Or if you asked a question that didn't get answered, just to circle back to my question from earlier, when do we need the final version by?
It highlights its politeness, its effectiveness in managing agendas, keeps the conversation flowing, but ensures important things aren't dropped. It's about effective time management in group settings. Mastering to circle back for improving business English shows you can manage complex discussions, cover all points systematically, high-level communication skill.
And our final essential phrase, number 20, to put a pin in it. Feels very similar to circle back, like a mental bookmark. What's the difference, if any?
Very similar, but put a pin in it often implies a slightly more definite pause. It means acknowledging an important idea or question, but explicitly deciding to postpone discussion until later, usually because of time limits or the current focus.
Like sticking a pin on a map to mark a spot.
Exactly, like a literal pin or bookmark. Come back to this.
So that's a great idea for a new campaign. Excellent. Let's put a pin in it and make sure we dedicate time to it in next week's strategy meeting.
Perfect. It validates the contribution, but defers discussion politely to stay on track.
Keeps things moving efficiently.
Exactly. Reinforces its usefulness in managing discussions, especially meetings. Good ideas aren't lost, but focus is maintained. Using to put a pin in it for improving business English shows strong facilitation skills. You can prioritize, defer gracefully, ensure accountability for ideas, key for efficient, inclusive communication.
Wow, okay, 20 phrases covered. Now for the shorthand. Essential acronyms. The super streamlined communication, mostly for writing, right? Emails, chat, first one.
Yep.
EOD, end of day. Why not just type end of day? Is it just faster?
That's a good question. It's definitely about efficiency, not laziness. EOD is almost exclusively written. You rarely hear someone say EOD.
Ah, okay.
It just quickly signals a deadline by the close of the business day. Usually means 5 p.m. local time, but can vary. It's just a fast, understood way to set a deadline in writing without the extra words.
So you'd see it in an email. Need the report by EOD Wednesday. Concise, clear, speeds things up.
Exactly. Streamlines communication, makes things quicker to read and write, especially for deadlines. Recognizing and using EOD correctly for improving your business English shows you get the common professional shorthand, value conciseness, shows you're part of that efficient communication flow.
Okay, acronym 2. Ooh, out of office? Another one that's obvious once you know it. Why abbreviate that one? Seems minor.
Again, efficiency and instant clarity, but in a very specific place. OO is almost only seen in automatic email replies.
The autoresponder.
Right. It immediately tells you someone's away, vacation trip, sick, and won't reply right away. You basically never hear someone say, I'm OO next week. It's purely for that written auto reply.
So you email someone and boom, back comes. Sorry, I am OO until Feb 5th. For urgent matters, contact. Sets expectations instantly. Tells you who to contact instead.
Its whole purpose is setting expectations for response times. Tells senders won't be quick, prevents frustration, manages comms when someone's away, redirects urgent stuff. Understanding OO for improving business English informs your strategy when contacting people. Saves you time, prevents confusion. Very practical abbreviation.
Acronym 3. You hear this one constantly. Inside and outside work. ASAP. As soon as possible. This one feels really strong, urgent.
It absolutely is. ASAP means immediately, utmost urgency. A very strong push for quick action. And unlike EOD, or OO, this one is used both spoken and written.
Versatile.
Very. It's a direct call for speed, signals something is critical, needs attention now. What's interesting is the power in just 4 letters clear, immediate demand.
Right. You might hear a manager say, get those figures to the client ASAP, or see it capitalized in an urgent email. Definitely a call to action.
You have to use it carefully because it's so strong.
Right, yeah.
Only use it when something is truly critical, truly needs immediate action. If you overuse it, it loses its power. The boy who cried wolf thing. Everything becomes ASAP, so nothing is truly urgent anymore. Creates burnout.
Good point.
Knowing when not to use ASAP is as important as knowing when to use it for improving business English. Shows judgment, understanding of priorities, effective communication of real urgency.
Acronym 4, FYI, for your information. So common, people use it everywhere, maybe without even thinking.
You're totally right. FYI is for adding a bit of extra info, like saying, just so you know, or thought you might find this useful.
Is it mostly written?
Overwhelmingly written, yeah. Often in email subject lines are at the start, but it does slip into spoken chat sometimes, informally. Crucially, it signals the info is useful, but probably doesn't need immediate action or reply.
Okay, so an email might say, FYI, the client meeting next week is now at 1:30 p.m.
Perfect.
Or chatting with a colleague, oh, FYI, I won't be at the team lunch tomorrow.
Exactly. It's great for quick extra communication, share details, updates, background info without creating a task for the other person. Keeps people informed efficiently. Understanding FYI for improving business English helps you sort incoming info. Is this just for awareness or do I need to act? Very effective shorthand.
And finally, acronym 5, PGIF. Thank God goodness it's Friday. That feeling of relief as the week ends. Universal.
Absolutely. TGIF expresses that relief, that anticipation for the weekend. Super common in informal written stuff, company chat, quick end-of-week emails, celebrating that the work week's done.
Do people say it out loud?
Less common in formal spoken chat, but yeah, casually among colleagues, maybe TGIF, have a good weekend.
Yeah.
With a smile. Connecting it to the bigger picture, it's a little glimpse of the human side of work life, acknowledging work-life balance, the shared joy of a break.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the culture, that shared feeling, looking forward to downtime, a little cheer on Friday afternoons, builds camaraderie.
It does. Shows you understand the informal social side of work, though maybe less common in very formal settings. But in most modern workplaces, totally fine, often welcome. Observing when and where TGIF is used for improving your business English helps you navigate those unwritten social rules. Knowing when to be formal, when to join in the relaxed professional banter, contributes to a positive team feel. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow, okay, that was quite the deep dive. We covered, 20 essential phrases, really dug into what they mean and how to use them strategically, plus those 5 key acronyms that simplify communication. Each one really does help unlock more clarity, more confidence in business English. So what's the takeaway for you, listener, as you work on improving your business English?
Well, I think it means that getting these phrases right, it's really more than just translating words or memorizing definitions. It's about understanding the nuance, the sort of unspoken rules, the strategic power behind professional communication. It's about fitting into that English-speaking work culture smoothly, communicating not just correctly, but, authentically. impactfully. Knowing these helps you navigate conversations with more ease, more sophistication, makes you feel and appear truly well-informed.
So our challenge to you is start using this stuff.
Mhm.
Start noticing these phrases in emails. Try using one thoughtfully in a conversation this week. Or even just recognize them faster when you hear them. Every little bit of practice builds that confidence. This deep dive is genuinely a shortcut to being more well-informed, giving you a real edge professionally, helping you not just speak business English, but really master it.
And as we think about how business communication is always changing, new tech, remote work, global teams, language has to keep up, doesn't it? The way we work evolves, and so does the way we talk about it.
That's a really interesting point. The language has to adapt. So thinking of that constant evolution, here's a final thought for you. If you could invent one brand new business English phrase or acronym, something that perfectly captures a modern workplace reality we don't quite have the right word for yet, what would it be and why? Think about those unique frustrations or innovations we all deal with now.
Yeah, exactly. Think about how language doesn't just reflect our work lives, it actively shapes them, shapes the culture. Adapting to these shifts, maybe even spotting where we need new words, that's part of growing professionally. Being able to articulate, maybe even create new ways to communicate clearly, that shows real linguistic agility, real insight. What new reality is waiting for its perfect phrase? We'll leave you to ponder that.
Have you ever been there? You're in a professional setting. Maybe an important email lands, or a colleague speaks up in a meeting, and bam, you get hit with phrases like pick your brains or acronyms like EOD.
Oh, absolutely.
It can feel a bit like you're trying to decode some kind of secret language, right? That little pause, the mental scramble to figure out what they really mean. Or even that slight worry about using the wrong phrase yourself. It can be confusing, maybe even a little embarrassing sometimes. It kind of puts up a wall, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And, it's a challenge almost everywhere. It's not just for non-native English speakers either.
Right.
Even people who've been working for years, native speakers, they still have to navigate this specific kind of business English. Each industry, sometimes even departments, have their own jargon, their own little shortcuts.
Yeah, their own dialect almost.
Exactly. But getting this stuff, it's not just about memorizing terms, It's really about getting clarity, confidence in how you communicate. When you grasp these nuances, you're not just translating words, you're unlocking what people actually mean, and it helps you say what you mean with more precision. That understanding, it's really the foundation for success at work.
And that, everyone, is exactly what we're doing today on the Deep Dive. We're going to really dive deep into these essential business English phrases and acronyms, the ones that are just crucial for communicating effectively at work. Our goal isn't just to give you a list. It's to give you the tools to understand them, use them, and really thrive in English-speaking business settings, whether you work in English all day, every day, or you're just curious and want to sharpen your skills.
Think of it as a shortcut.
Yeah, exactly. A shortcut to being really well informed about this subtle corporate language.
So what can you expect from this deep dive today? We're going to look at 20 pretty essential business English phrases. We'll break down what they mean, when to use them, the subtle stuff.
Right.
These cover everything from, daily chats and being polite to thinking strategically and managing projects. And then as a bonus, we'll hit 5 key acronyms, the ones you see and hear all the time in the workplace.
Good ones.
Yeah. The main goal is for you to walk away feeling hopefully significantly more confident and just more capable in your professional interactions.
Okay, let's jump right in. We'll start with those phrases that help us handle the everyday stuff at work, connecting with people, being polite. And we're kicking things off with something I think everyone relates to, especially if it's, Monday morning.
The Monday feeling.
That feeling, that collective groan maybe.
Yeah.
We're talking about a case of the Mondays, or maybe the more direct version, Mondays, am I right?
Exactly. And it's more than just a casual phrase. It's this really lighthearted, often kind of silly way to talk about feeling unmotivated or just blaming some small problem on the fact that it's Monday.
Right.
It's about acknowledging that shared feeling without actually getting negative or seriously blaming the day. Monday didn't really break the printer.
Yeah, probably not.
But saying it creates this little moment of connection, a shared sigh.
I definitely know that feeling. You wake up, alarm goes off, and you just don't have it. You might sigh and say, oh, I just have zero motivation today. Guess I've got a case of the Mondays. Or, like you said with the printer, if something annoying happens, you might just throw your hands up and say, ugh. This stupid printer won't work. Mondays, am I right? It's like a quick way to bond over something small and relatable.
And what's really interesting about it, I think, is how it builds that camaraderie. It adds a bit of humor, maybe diffuses a little tension, or just acknowledges that shared feeling when the weekend's over.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding the culture, participating in that shared joke, not literally blaming Monday, and using it correctly from a language improvement view shows you get those social cues, helps you fit in.
Okay, so moving from shared groans to something really fundamental.
Yeah.
Politeness and collaboration. These aren't just like nice to haves, they're essential.
Absolutely critical.
So our next phrase is super useful and shows real respect. When you have a minute, or the slightly quicker version, do you have a minute?
This is extremely polite. It's a really considerate way to ask for someone's time or help, especially if you know or just assume they might be busy or focused on something else.
Right, you don't want to just barge in.
Exactly. It shows respect for their work, their schedule. Instead of just demanding their attention, you're giving them the courtesy to respond when they actually can pause and focus on your request. It's like workplace empathy in action.
So instead of marching over and saying, look at this report now, you'd be much smoother. Maybe saying, hey, when you have a minute, could you glance at this report for me?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a bit more direct, but still polite. Do you have a minute to look at this report right now?
Yeah.
It just makes the whole interaction feel less demanding, more collaborative.
It really does. It elevates the interaction.
Yeah.
Respecting people's time, acknowledging their workload, that's vital. It builds positive working relationships based on, mutual consideration.
Yeah.
It's a small language thing, almost invisible, but it has a big impact on how people see you and honestly how easily you can get things done together. Mastering this kind of politeness is a big step in improving your business English beyond just words. It's cultural fluency.
Okay, this next one paints a cool picture, I think. To bounce some ideas off of you, or sometimes just off you?
Yeah.
What's this bouncing thing really mean at work? It sounds playful, but it feels professional.
It's pretty much like the image suggests. You're sort of metaphorically tossing an idea at someone to see how it, bounces back, to get their gut reaction, their opinion.
Oh, okay.
But the key thing is you're not expecting perfect answers or final solutions. Not at all. The main goal is just to refine it together, get some informal feedback. Think of it like a mini two-person brainstorm.
So testing the waters a bit.
Exactly. You're putting a raw idea out there, seeing if it resonates, getting some early thoughts to make it better. What's great about bouncing ideas is that it makes it okay to share something that's not perfect yet.
Right, less pressure.
Yeah, it encourages more creative thinking early on because the stakes are low. It actually speeds up innovation in a way.
So it's not like asking for the finished products, just getting a feel for it. Like you might grab coffee with someone and say, hey, want to grab coffee? I'd love to bounce some ideas off you for this assignment.
Perfect example.
Or if you're stuck on something, I've been mulling over this project and I'd really like to bounce some ideas off you. Got a few minutes. It shows you value their input, even early on.
It really connects to brainstorming and creative problem solving. It fosters that open discussion, that iterative process. You're inviting quick, informal feedback that helps shape the idea before it's all formal and polished.
Makes sense.
It's a proactive, collaborative way to work with people, tapping into that collective intelligence quickly. Shows you're open-minded, which is a big part of professional communication.
Okay, speaking of tapping into intelligence, our next one, to pick your brains, always sounded a bit weird to me at first. A little graphic, maybe.
Aha, yeah, it does sound a bit odd, taken literally.
But here's where it gets really interesting, because it's so common and useful, even if the image is strange.
Right. Its meaning is actually very straightforward and respected. It just means you're respectfully asking for input, advice, or details from someone who has more experience or knowledge on a topic than you do.
So it's about expertise.
Exactly. It's a deferential way to tap into their expertise, acknowledging their insights. You're not demanding anything. You're humbly asking for their wisdom, almost like asking for a mini mentoring session.
Okay, so putting that in context, you might say to a longtime colleague, I know you've been here 5 years, so I'd love to pick your brains about what it's really like to work here.
Perfect.
Or maybe more strategically, could we hop on a quick call this week? I'd really appreciate a chance to pick your brains about your outlook for next quarter. It's all about learning from people who know more, basically.
And this phrase really underlines the value of mentorship, of knowledge sharing in a company. It frames the request as a professional courtesy, a genuine wish to learn, not a demand. Practically speaking, it's a super efficient way to get insights, avoid mistakes, and speed up your own learning without reinventing the wheel. Using it shows you're proactive about learning and respect expertise, both great professional traits.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly to efficient information exchange. Speed and clarity are huge these days. Our next phrase, number 4 from the outline, is first thing in the morning. I notice people sometimes try to say the first thing, but it's usually just first thing, right? More direct.
Absolutely. It's a fixed phrase, almost an idiom. It means doing something right away or immediately when the workday starts, usually without the, because it means the start of the business day, not necessarily, sunrise.
Gotcha.
It sets a really clear expectation for prompt action, but there's a catch sometimes.
Oh.
If you're working with people in totally different time zones, first thing in the morning can get confusing. Whose morning?
Ah, good point. Very true. So in those cases, it's much better to be specific, like by 9 a.m. Eastern or before the start of your day, just to be crystal clear. Right, clarity is key there. So personally, someone might say, first thing in the morning, I make coffee. That's a routine. But at work, if you're waiting on something, if I don't hear back today, I'll call her first thing in the morning. A clear commitment.
Exactly.
Or wrapping up, sorry, can't finish the report today, but I will do it first thing in the morning. No ambiguity.
And its value in setting those expectations and showing commitment is huge. In business, especially with projects or clients, knowing when things will get done is crucial. First thing gives that clear promise without needing an exact time, which can be efficient internally as long as everyone's roughly on the same schedule.
Okay, sticking with efficiency. Next up is to hop on a call. This one feels like it's exploded, especially with remote work. It sounds casual, like literally hopping, but it's totally professional.
It really captures the modern vibe, doesn't it? To hop on a call means starting a conversation, often pretty spontaneously, maybe with short notice over the phone, or more likely now, Zoom, Teams, something like that. It implies a quick, direct chat about something that's probably easier or faster to sort out by talking in real time, that back and forth, instead of writing long emails. It suggests agility, immediacy.
So if a client has urgent questions, you might ping a colleague, hey, got a minute to hop on a call? Client has some questions that might be easier to discuss.
Perfect.
Or if an email thread is getting crazy complicated, I was going to email again, but maybe it's easier if we just talk. Can we hop on a call real quick? Gets through the clutter.
It really signals a preference for talking now instead of emailing back and forth, especially for urgent things, complex issues, maybe sensitive stuff. It shows you want quick resolution or collaboration.
Makes sense.
For people working on their business English, knowing when to suggest hopping on a call versus sending another email is a key strategic communication skill. It affects how quickly things get done and even relationships. It's about picking the right channel for the job.
And speaking of quick communication, the next one, or rather pair of phrases, uses verbs that really scream speed. To shoot off an email or to fire off an email. Shoot and fire sound fast, decisive.
They absolutely do. Both mean sending an email, maybe even a quick text, very quickly. The emphasis is on speed, efficiency, often being concise.
Right.
It implies you're sending it without much fuss, not overthinking it, just getting the essential info out there fast, being agile with your writing.
So maybe before a big meeting, I'm just going to fire off an email with these key questions before we meet the client so they're prepped. Or if you need info from someone, could you just shoot me an email with those numbers? I'll tackle it first thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
See? Combining them already.
Exactly. It shows its usefulness when you need quick, decisive communication, maybe getting info out fast or needing a quick response. And you're right, seeing how they link up, like with first thing, shows how these phrases build on each other for efficient, natural business talk. Direct, but still professional.
Okay, last one in this section, number 8. This one has a great visual. To keep someone in the loop. The loop makes you think of connection, inclusion, information flow.
Right, precisely. To keep someone in the loop means making sure a specific person, or maybe a whole team, is consistently included, updated, and gets all the necessary info about a project, a discussion, whatever's going on.
So they're not left out.
Exactly. They're not left out of the communication flow. They know what's happening, but there's a nuance here.
Okay.
You need to know what's necessary information. You don't want to overloop people.
CCing everyone on everything.
Right. Bombarding colleagues with irrelevant stuff can cause information overload. Then they might miss the important updates. It's a balance.
That's a really good point about overlooping. So if you missed a meeting, you might ask, hey, sorry I missed the meeting yesterday. Could you keep me in the loop and forward any notes or emails?
Yep, perfect use.
Or if the boss needs to know everything, the boss wants us to keep her in the loop on all major progress for this project.
This phrase is super important for good teamwork, transparency, and just making sure information flows properly. It helps avoid miscommunication, keeps everyone aligned, and stops people from feeling isolated or out of touch.
Yeah, feeling left out is demotivating.
Totally. It's about keeping the team cohesive and informed, which helps projects succeed and keeps morale up. For improving business English, using this well shows great team communication skills.
All right, let's pivot now. We've covered those everyday interactions. Now let's move into strategic thinking and project management, where innovation and getting things done right are really key.
The execution side?
Our first phrase here, number 9, might seem basic, but it's fundamental to creative work, to brainstorm. You can almost picture it, right? A busy meeting room, whiteboards full, ideas flying everywhere.
You definitely can. And while brainstorm just means generating ideas, in business, it's usually a bit more structured. It's about generating lots of ideas, often in a group, where the main rule is to get all ideas out there.
No bad ideas initially.
Exactly. Regardless of how good, bad, or crazy they seem at first. The idea is to get a free flow of thoughts, encourage wild thinking, to find out what really works or what might lead to a breakthrough. Quantity first, then you evaluate the quality.
Okay. Quantity, then quality. That makes sense.
That initial unfiltered burst is vital for real innovation.
So you might lay out a plan like, tomorrow in our strategy meeting, the first hour is purely to brainstorm new marketing ideas for Q3. No holding back?
Yep.
Or if there's a problem, our team got together last week to brainstorm better ways to help our customers with that recurring issue. It's about that initial creative explosion before you start filtering.
It really connects to fostering creativity, encouraging different ways of thinking, solving problems together. It's crucial in the early stages of any project or new idea. It's where different perspectives mix to spark something new. And being good at facilitating or participating in brainstorming is a key business communication skill.
Okay, so once a project is done, or maybe even just hit a major milestone, our next phrase, number 10, comes in. To debrief. It sounds kind of serious, like after a mission or something.
That's a great analogy. It fits perfectly. To debrief means to systematically summarize, review, or share info after something happens. A project, a campaign, a critical event.
Like a post-mortem.
Sort of, but often focus more on learning for the future. It's usually a meeting to talk about what went well, what didn't, maybe what was unexpected, and crucially, how to learn from it all to do better next time.
Okay.
And it's flexible. You can use it as a verb, we need to debrief the team, or a noun, let's schedule a debrief.
So after a big project wraps up, you could say, okay, once this project is fully delivered, let's set up a meeting to debrief and capture lessons learned.
Exactly.
Or if it already happened, we had a debrief this morning and decided to change a few things in the process for the next time we do this kind of project. It's all about learning from experience.
And if you think bigger picture, debriefing is absolutely essential for organizations to grow and adapt. It builds a culture of learning, drives process improvement, helps people develop professionally. It makes sure successes get repeated and failures become valuable lessons. It's not just a meeting, it's a strategic feedback loop for getting better.
Okay, now for a couple of phrases that really get to the heart of work ethic.
Yeah.
The next one, number 11, is unfortunately pretty common and has a very negative feel. A slacker. Nobody wants to be called that.
No, definitely not. And while we all know what slacker means generally, at work, it's more than just being lazy. It's someone who consistently doesn't do their fair share, avoids work, and often expects others to pick up their, well, slack.
Yeah, makes things harder for everyone else.
Hugely frustrating. They're demoralizing. Bad for the team. It's not just about their poor performance, it's the negative ripple effect.
You hear the frustration, right?
Yeah.
People might say, ugh, he's such a slacker. Always late with his stuff, misses deadlines, and expects me to work overtime to cover for him. Or just generally, seems like every group project has one slacker who thinks everyone else will do the work. It really undermines teamwork.
It absolutely does. This phrase captures that frustration, the resentment, the damage to morale. It's the total opposite of the positive work ethic, the reliability, the commitment everyone values.
Right.
Understanding this term isn't just vocabulary. It's recognizing that unspoken agreement in teamwork, everyone pulls their weight. Being able to describe this dynamic carefully, of course, is important for managing teams or giving feedback.
So if slacker is the negative pole, our next phrase, number 12, is the positive opposite. A workhorse. This is the kind of person you want on your team.
Exactly. A workhorse is someone known for exceptional dedication, diligence, just plain hard work. They're the ones who reliably get projects done, often going the extra mile without needing constant pushing.
Dependable.
Very dependable.
Yeah.
Pillars of reliability. Committed to getting results. They usually drive a lot of value for the team and the company. Their output is high, their commitment is strong.
You often hear people praise like this. He is a real workhorse. In the office, at home, doesn't matter. He always gets the job done and done well. Or talking about promotions, she really deserves that promotion. She's been a total workhorse on every project, delivering consistently. It's basically the ultimate compliment for work ethic.
It really emphasizes the huge value of that dedication, reliability, and high performance. And it often directly links to real recognition promotions, more responsibility, because these are the people who add clear value, get results, and you can trust them to deliver. It's a highly valued professional trait.
Okay, when things get intense, deadlines are tight, or there's a big challenge, our next phrase, number 13, comes up. All hands on deck. I know it comes from ships, right? Everyone needed on deck.
Spot on. That's the origin. A crisis on a ship, every sailor needed on deck immediately. In business, it's very similar, figuratively. It means everyone, or at least everyone relevant, needs to jump in now on an urgent project or crisis.
Urgency is key.
Paramount. And interestingly, it has a second related meaning. An all-hands meeting. That's a mandatory meeting for everyone in the company or department, usually for big news or strategy updates.
Oh, okay. Two meanings.
Yeah. But the common thread is collective participation, immediate focus.
So, facing a tight deadline, a leader might say, okay, team, it's all hands on deck if we're going to finish this project on time for the client.
Right. High stakes.
And that all-hands meeting sounds important. The CEO just called an all-hands meeting for Thursday afternoon. Wonder what's up.
It definitely signals importance. It's used in critical, high-pressure times needing coordinated effort and immediate attention. It conveys urgency and teamwork, whether for a crisis or a major announcement. Understanding the weight of all hands on deck helps you react appropriately.
And speaking of management, our next phrase, number 14, often gets a groan from employees.
To micromanage. Sounds frustrating just saying it.
Oh, it really is. To micromanage is a management style where the manager tries to control every tiny detail of their employees' work.
Yeah.
Way too much control, like looking over your shoulder constantly.
Exactly. It stifles autonomy, kills initiative, suffocates creativity. It usually leads to huge frustration, resentment, a breakdown of trust, and plummeting morale.
Why do managers do it?
Often it comes from their own anxiety or need for control, but ironically, it creates more problems than it solves. It really raises that question, when does guiding become controlling?
Yeah, it's a fine line. You hear employees complaining, he tries to micromanage the team by telling everyone exactly how to do their job, step by step, even stuff we've done dozens of times. Or from the employee side, nobody likes being micromanaged. Can't you just trust me to do my work?
Yeah.
It kills motivation.
This phrase highlights that huge negative impact on autonomy, trust, and ultimately productivity and innovation. When people feel trusted and empowered, they're usually more engaged and productive.
Makes sense.
Micromanagement leads to disengagement, feeling undervalued, often higher turnover, and less innovation because people become afraid to try things. It's a really costly leadership mistake. Understanding that is key for improving communication, especially if you're in or moving into leadership.
Okay, let's shift focus again. Now we're talking about phrases crucial for business strategy and efficiency. Things that drive growth, enable innovation, and keep everyone focused. First up, number 15, to align. And remember that silent G.
Right, silent G. Good reminder.
Beyond just lining things up physically.
Yeah.
What does align mean in a strategic business sense? It feels deeper.
It is much deeper. To align in business means being in agreement, in harmony, supporting the same direction. It applies to goals, values, strategies, even partnerships with other companies.
Okay.
It means there's a good fit, a synergy, objectives are shared, efforts support each other, resources go towards a common goal. When things align, there's less friction, more momentum.
So a decision might be explained like, that project doesn't align with our long-term goals, so we're not pursuing it, even though it looks good short-term.
Exactly. Strategic fit.
Or about partnerships. Our company aligns itself with organizations that share our values and have complementary goals. It's all about making sure everything pulls in the same direction.
It's absolutely critical for strategic decisions. It ensures actions, projects, partnerships all serve the company's core objectives and vision. When everything's aligned, resources are used effectively, efforts are coordinated, and the whole organization moves forward together, not wasting energy on things pulling different ways. Like a rowing team in sync.
Okay, following align, we have phrase 16, to streamline. When I hear that, I think of something sleek, efficient, like a smooth flow, optimizing things.
That's a perfect image. To streamline means making a process, a system, even a company structure more effective and efficient, often more economical too,
Yeah.
by finding and reducing scattered efforts, cutting out unnecessary steps or complexities, optimizing the sequence of things. The goal is to lower costs, reduce waste, and increase efficiency, creating a smooth, logical, productive workflow.
So a manager might say, if we invest time now to streamline this complicated onboarding process, we'll lower costs and get new hires productive faster.
Makes sense.
Or maybe higher up, leadership streamline the company by reducing management layers, aiming for faster decisions and more agility. It's about cutting the fat, removing bottlenecks, making things leaner and faster.
It really emphasizes its role in optimizing operations, improving productivity, achieving goals by cutting out the unnecessary. A streamlined process means less wasted time, fewer errors, better use of resources. That leads directly to better profits, higher output, and being more competitive. It's a cornerstone of operational excellence.
Now, for businesses looking to grow, especially smaller ones, phrase 17, scalable, is huge. It's a word investors love.
Scalable refers to the ability of a business model, a system, or an idea to expand its operations, grow its customer base, or increase revenue efficiently. And this is key while maintaining or even increasing profitability without a proportional jump in costs or effort.
So growth without costs exploding.
Exactly. It signifies potential for efficient, maybe even exponential growth. Think about teaching English. In a physical classroom, adding students means more space, more teacher time costs rise proportionally, not very scalable.
Right, limited seats.
But teaching English on YouTube, highly scalable. You can reach millions, but the cost of your digital classroom doesn't rise nearly as much. Profit margins can grow hugely. What people sometimes miss isn't just growth, but sustainable, efficient growth.
That YouTube example makes it super clear. Leverage. So you might say, this startup, though small now, is inherently scalable due to its digital model and has huge growth potential. Or, showing success, she proved her idea was scalable and it brought in way more profit without needing a ton more overhead.
It's a critical concept today, especially in tech, online businesses, anything venture capital looks at. Being able to grow reach and revenue without resources needing to grow at the same rate, that's often the key to rapid, sustainable, profitable growth.
Okay, let's talk about staying focused, which can be tough in long meetings or complex projects. Our next phrase, 18, nails this challenge. In the weeds, or lost in the weeds. Makes you picture getting tangled up, right? Losing the path.
That's exactly the visual and the problem. Being in the weeds means someone or a group has gotten way too focused on tiny, unimportant, or side details, and they've lost sight of the big picture, the main goal.
Happens all the time in meetings.
All the time. It's a common trap. People get sidetracked by minutia that distract from the main point. It's often a sign the discussion needs pulling back.
So in a meeting going off track, someone might gently say, let's try not to get lost in the weeds here, folks. We need to stay focused on the main strategic goal.
Right. Recentering.
Or if it's getting too technical, okay, everyone, let's not get lost in the weeds on that specific detail right now. We can park that for later. Let's bring it back to the overall milestones.
It's a really effective management tool to guide discussions back to what matters, keep meetings productive, maintain momentum. It's about making sure time and energy are spent on the critical path, not bogged down in minor stuff too early. Key phrase for keeping communication focused.
Okay, closely related to staying focused, but also managing the conversation flow, is phrase 19, to circle back. The circle visual really helps returning to a point later.
Yes. To circle back means consciously noting something to return to, reconsider, or discuss later when it's more appropriate. It's used a lot when a discussion goes off on a tangent, but the point raised is still valid and needs attention after the current topic is finished.
So it's like putting it on hold politely.
Exactly. It's a polite, effective way to table something without dismissing it. Shows good meeting management.
So during a meeting, if someone raises a good but off-topic point, you might say, okay, valuable point, but let's circle back to that later in the meeting. Want to make sure we finish this agenda item first.
Perfect.
Or reminding someone about something from before. To circle back to my question earlier about the budget, When do we need that finalized?
It really highlights its politeness and effectiveness in managing agendas. Ensures all relevant topics get covered without derailing the current discussion. Allows for thoroughness without losing efficiency. It's a hallmark of good time management in collaborative work.
And our last essential phrase, number 20, is to put a pin in it. Feels very similar to circle back, like making a mental note or bookmark.
It is very similar, yeah. Often used interchangeably, though maybe put a pin in it feels a bit more decisive about pausing it. It means acknowledging an important idea or question, but deciding to discuss it later.
Why later?
Maybe time constraints, maybe it's off topic for now, maybe you need more info first. It's like putting a mental bookmark or even a real note to revisit it later so the idea isn't lost.
So if a great idea pops up, but it's not for this meeting, you might say, excellent point, let's definitely put a pin in that, and we'll tackle it in next week's strategy session. Diplomatic way to acknowledge but defer.
It reinforces its usefulness in managing discussions, especially when time is tight. It ensures good ideas aren't lost just because they don't fit the immediate agenda, while keeping the current meeting focused. Polite, practical, keeps things moving purposefully without losing valuable input. Efficient communication embodied.
Wow. Okay, 20 phrases covered. We really dug into those. But now let's switch to the shorthand. Essential acronyms. These are like the fast food of business language built for speed, especially in writing. First one, EOD. End of day. Why not just type end of day? What's the big push for the acronym?
That's a good question. It really boils down to pure efficiency, mostly in writing. EOD is almost always written, rarely spoken as EOD. You'd say end of day. It just means a deadline by the close of the business day, usually 5 p.m. local time, give or take. It's a super quick, understood way to set a clear deadline in emails, project tools, short reports. Saves typing, saves reading time. Speed and conciseness are the drivers, especially with lots of messages flying around.
So you'd see in an email like, need this report submitted by EOD Wednesday. Short, clear, no confusion about the deadline.
Exactly. Its main job is to streamline communication, make emails and reports faster to write and read when deadlines are involved. It shows how workplaces adapt language for efficiency. Knowing EOD signals you understand common deadlines.
Acronym 2. Ooh, out of office. Another one that's obvious once you know it, but again, why abbreviate this? Seems like minimal saving.
Again, it's efficiency, but specifically in automated writing. UOO is almost exclusively found in automatic email replies, those out-of-office responders.
The auto replies. Right.
It's an instant, clear signal someone's away, vacation, sick, whatever, and won't be replying immediately. You'd almost never say, I'm OO next week. You'd say, I'm out of the office. Its power is in being automatic and instant.
So when you email someone on vacation, you get that immediate bounce back. Thanks for your email. I am OOO until Feb 5th. Sets the expectation right away.
Exactly. Its whole purpose is setting expectations for response times. Tells the sender immediately, don't expect a reply soon, prevents frustration, helps manage communication when someone's away, lets the sender find someone else if it's urgent. Basic tool for managing communication during absences.
Okay, number 3 is one you hear constantly, inside and outside work. ASAP. As soon as possible. This one feels strong, urgent, like it adds pressure.
It absolutely does. ASAP means immediately with utmost urgency. It packs a punch. And unlike EOD or OO, this one's used all the time, spoken and written.
Yeah, you hear it a lot.
It's a direct call for quick action. Signals something is critical, no delays. What's interesting is how much power is in those 4 letters. It communicates urgency instantly. Overuse it, and it loses its power. You get ASA fatigue, like the boy who cried wolf. People might ignore it if everything is ASA.
Good point. So on a call, can you send those figures over ASAP? Clients waiting, or written, maybe all caps. Need your feedback ASAP. Definitely signals importance.
Which is why you need to use it carefully, strategically. Only when something is genuinely critical and time-sensitive. Using ASAP wisely shows you understand priority. Overusing it can make you seem disorganized or panicky, ironically.
Okay, acronym 4, FYI. For your information. This one's everywhere. People use it casually all the time, maybe without even thinking.
You're totally right. FYI is super common. It's used to quickly add a bit of extra info, just so you know, heads up about something relevant, but that might not need any action or reply.
So informational, not actionable.
Mostly, yeah. It's way more common in writing, emails especially, but you do hear it spoken sometimes, informally. Oh, FYI, the meeting room changed. It's just a quick flag. This is useful info, but you don't need to do anything.
So in an email update, FYI, the team meeting time next week is now 1:30 p.m. Or casually, oh, FYI, I can't make happy hour tomorrow. Quick info dump.
Exactly. Super useful for sharing supplementary info quickly without creating a task. Keeps people informed, helps transparency, even if they don't need to act on it right away. Knowing when to use FYI helpful but not critical, no reply needed is part of effective communication.
And our final acronym, number 5, a universal sigh of relief, TGIF. Thank God goodness it's Friday. Captures that end-of-week joy perfectly.
Absolutely. TGIF is that shared feeling of relief, looking forward to the weekend. You see it written all the time in company chats, Slack, casual emails on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, like a digital high five.
Exactly. It's a collective cheer. Less common spoken formally, but you might hear it casually among colleagues. TGIF, have a good weekend. And thinking bigger picture, it's a little window into the human side of work. Acknowledges the need for balance, the shared effort, the joy of a break, builds connection.
It really does add to a positive culture.
Yeah.
Right? That shared feeling, looking forward to downtime. It's a little thing, but it echoes through offices and chats every Friday, builds that team spirit in a small way. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow. Okay, that was a really thorough deep dive. We went through 20 essential business English phrases, really unpacked the meanings, the uses, the tricky bits, and decoded 5 key acronyms, too, showing how efficient they can be. Each one of these, it really helps unlock more clarity, boosts your confidence, just sharpens your overall business communication. So after all that, what does this really mean for you listening right now?
Well, it means that getting good at these phrases is way more than just memorizing. It's about really getting the nuances of professional talk, fitting into that English-speaking work culture, and communicating not just correctly, but, authentically, strategically.
Right.
Knowing these expressions, knowing when and how to use them, lets you handle those work conversations with more ease, more sophistication, more impact. It's how you don't just speak business English, you really thrive using it. So our challenge to you is start using this stuff right away. Maybe you'll notice these phrases more in emails now, maybe you'll try one out in your next meeting, or maybe you just understand them better when you hear them.
Every little bit helps.
Exactly. Every bit of practice builds confidence and makes you more effective. This deep dive, it really is a shortcut to being well-informed, giving you an edge in the professional world. You're not just learning words, you're gaining strategic fluency.
And as we think about how business communication is always changing, right? New tech, new ways of working globally, the language itself keeps evolving.
Constantly.
It forces us to think about how our vocabulary keeps up.
That's a really great point. Brings us right to the edge of how language changes. So thinking about that constant evolution, here's a final thought for you. If you could invent one new business English phrase or acronym, something that perfectly captures a modern workplace reality that we don't quite have the right word for yet, what would it be and why?
Yeah, what unspoken truth or new trend needs its own phrase? Think about how language doesn't just reflect our work lives, it shapes them. Adapting to these shifts is just part of growing professionally and being able to spot, maybe even create new ways to communicate precisely. That shows real linguistic agility, real strategic thinking. What realities are still waiting for their perfect phrase?